Hello everybody, welcome to Red Tool House. On our YouTube channel we talk about all things homesteading and try to implement some of those things on our rural 100 acres here in southern West Virginia. Well, today it is the end. Or is it the beginning? I'm not sure. I don't know whether to break into a Jim Morrison song or not. It's the end of assembly. We actually have our sawmill assembled. We are excited. We're ready to roll this puppy out and hopefully start making some sawdust. And in today's video I want to talk about why we chose a mill, why we chose this mill, and take you guys with us as we set this up and christen it with our first log, barring any rain and darkness. We'll see how this goes. So why did we decide to get a sawmill at this point? Well, that's almost kind of like asking why does the grass grow, or why does the sun come up in the east? Actually it was time. Those of you that followed our channel for a while know that about 17 years ago I bought a mill and assembled it, but probably, I guess it's been 5-8 years after that, I traded it to my brother, and his farm is just about 20 minutes away. And since then I've been able to take logs over there and mill them. He mills, he does all those type of things, and I've just been able to take logs over there. So why are we duplicating efforts? Well, to be honest with you, it really became a logistics issue where it was tough to get logs loaded. We'd have to obviously skid them down from the property, get them down to where I could have my truck and trailer, get them loaded, take them over there, make sure his stuff was out of the way, that he wasn't in the middle of a project, get our logs unloaded, get them loaded and milled. Obviously I couldn't burden him with all the flitches and the scraps, so we'd have to get what we sawed loaded up, then all of our flitches and scraps, and brought back over here and unloaded. And it really became a logistics nightmare when you looked at just doing that on weekends per se. So it was one of those deals where by the time I got the logs loaded, it was maybe noon, got over there, milled, get back, and so it just didn't work out well. With this, going to be able to have this sitting right behind the barn. Our first project is the barn, finishing that up. So be able to mill and literally take boards off the mill, stick them right on the barn. We'll be doing our poplar siding green, so it'll go straight up without any cure time. So that was a logical reason there. And of course, just the fact that having it here, having it accessible, just makes a lot of sense. And it makes it easier to do videos if I don't have to drive 20 minutes away. So why did we go with a Norwood? Well, there's several reasons. And I won't get into a full-blown commercial here. That's not what this video is about. But with Norwood, probably the most important reason and the biggest reason we went with it is familiarity. The mill I bought in 2000 was a Norwood, and it is still running. Here it is 18 years later, going on 19 years later, and it still runs like a champ. There's just a couple things maintenance-wise that my brothers had to do, that I've had to do. Not a big deal. Well, the second reason we chose Norwood was the price was right. When compared to other mills that had as much history and has had as much familiarity with it, there definitely were higher prices. You think of Wood Miser, and then I think Timber King was the other. Timber King, I think they started at 17 grand, so wasn't even something that would qualify for us. But you're looking at starting with a mill like this, low 4s, mid 5s, depends on all the accessories you do. That is one thing. You can obviously add up quickly all these additional accessories. So the price was right, and I was happy with that. Now, full disclosure, we have a small brand deal with Norwood. It's not like this mill was free. I don't want to pretend that it was. We have a small brand deal with Norwood, so we are going to talk about it. But what I like about Norwood is they said don't pull any punches when it comes to anything that you have issue with. Well, the big question everybody asks is, how does this mill actually arrive? How do you get this mill, Troy? Well, it comes on a skid. It comes on a 4x4 pallet, stacked about 5 feet high. And so we had to go to our local UPS guy, distribution center, pick that up. They loaded it in the back of the truck. We brought it here and we unloaded it. And again, I won't get into the details in this video, but boxes were numbered. Their assembly book was very detailed on how to go through it. But it really takes you through step by step on how to put it together. So if you're going to get a mill like this, any of the mills, I know Wood Miser's the same way. They all come broken down. You got to put them together. Then this is where, for us, it was a benefit to bring it into the workshop, even though I had to move my table saw and take out some of my dust collection system to get this in here. it was worth it to be able to assemble this in a dry location. So if you got a barn, you got a shed, you got anything like that, that's definitely where you want to do this. Doing this outside would be a drag if you had to contend with the weather. Well, from start to finish it was about a month and a half, but that's not how long it took to put it together. In all actuality, probably 14 to 18 hours if I was estimating. So it's come together. We got all the boxes empty. There's only a couple spare parts. We'll see how what happens there with the extra parts, but we're in good shape, and we actually have some spare parts to boot. So we've got it ready to go. Now, it was kind of funny. My oldest son, Liam, was kind of joking when we put this together. He said, "Dad, is this really going to fit out of the garage?" And with these tabs on top of this carriage and the wheels assembly underneath it now, we'll see if it does. So enough of me talking. Let's jump on getting this puppy out of here. Get it off the ground enough. I gotta hold the pin on the side. Okay, so we've got it moved back in the position we want, and obviously I'm still figuring out these leveling jacks, which makes the most sense. It's kind of funny in your mind, you think it should go this way and it's the opposite. Got the back end set. Goal is obviously make it level, not only this way, but this way. So right now we're working on long ways level, getting that dialed in, and we're pretty darn close. Got everything raised up on blocks, obviously more displacement, more surface area there so it doesn't sink in the mud. Game plan is here in the next couple of weeks to get some gravel brought in and gravel all around this. Sawdust is going to go toward me. It's going to go this way. The mill will operate that direction. So we'll be pushing the carriage that way. So all the sawdust goes that way. This is my, I've always called it my temporary weaning pasture. We've talked about that in other videos. That'll probably come down. The gate will stay, but I'll just pull these T-posts, roll that fence up, put it against the hill, because I want to be able to get my tractor in around behind here easily and scoop up that sawdust. Obviously that's going to be gold. There's going to be a ton of sawdust hopefully that we create, and I'm going to use that in so many other areas. Okay, got this leveled up now, and again, West Virginia flat land, in my mind this is completely flat, but you can tell by looking at this it ain't even close to flat. So the concern is operator ease. If I'm going to run this a lot during the day, that handle's got to drop down, and I can actually lower this quite a bit. This handle will pivot down. So I'm kind of in a hole here. Ideally, it would be nice to have a level track here. So I can plan on later coming back and leveling this off, put gravel here, concrete, all those type of things. It really depends on whether or not this is where I'm going to leave this for right now. Again, we're so close to the barn. The barn's right there. that this makes sense for the first project. I'm not blessed with flat land all over the place, so it's not like there's a whole bunch of places I could put this, but we'll see how it goes. I know the biggest issue is going to be mud. As I bring the tractor in here to load these logs, I'm going to rut this out even more, and this is my operation area, so if this was all graveled, this would be much better. So we're going to look at getting some gravel hauled in soon. Okay, so we need a volunteer to christen the mill, and here in our pig pasture area, we actually have this poplar here that I want to cut. It's one that's in an area that we want to clear out anyway. So we're going to take this one down. We've got another little poplar here beside it, a little sapling we'll cut out of the way. The game plan is to get it to fall uphill, so we're going to wedge it, fall uphill. That way I can get my tractor in here easier. It's a little steeper where I'm standing, a little flatter up there, so we can get the tractor in and pull that out. So let's get cutting. Okay, so we got our main log down. Obviously, you'll be able to get 2 out of this. Just did a rough estimate on measurement. So it's one of these things, when you see it stand and you try to eyeball up it, it looks pretty straight. This one has a little bit of a smiley face to it, so we'll have to adjust accordingly. Still get some good wood out of it. Yeah, the problem I always run into, and I guess everybody runs into, is mud. You can see skidding this down. We got a bit of mud on it. Since I'm here at the barn, I don't have it set up now, but I'm really contemplating taking one of my IBC totes, catching the rainwater off the garage or off the barn, and hooking up my pressure sprayer. So I can get my log loaded, pressure spray it, or actually pressure spray it before I put it on the mill to get all that mud off. Again, mud and dirt is an enemy of your blade. It's going to dull your blade quicker. So it's one of those things where it'd be nice to be able to get it free of mud. If you're really going to be super anal about saving your blades, then even stripping the bark. It's ideal to strip the bark because that's going to get all that debris out of it as well. But we're not going to do that today. We're going to measure. I know the barn siding that we need is a maximum of 10 feet long. So I usually go a little bit long on that. So we're going to go 11 and cut our first log, and we'll get it up on the mill. Perfect. Right there, hold. It's been a while since I've run a mill. That first slab's a little thick. Well, never let it be said that we don't show the gory, gritty details here at Red Tool House. So, second pass, brand new blade, second pass on the first log of the mill running, and some dummy hits the log guide. So I totally trashed that blade. It barely even finished cutting the rest of the log, and what it did cut, it cut an arch. So that blade is it's trashed. So we're going to put that on the sharpening pile, and we'll move on to the next blades. Fortunately, I have 20 more blades, so let's see if we can get at least one log done without going through all those. The irony of all this is 18 years ago, when I put the mill together, the Norwood mill together 18 years ago and milled the first log, I did the exact same thing. I'm looking at everything else, but not looking at the guides over here. Cut right through it. So I guess I'm consistent in what I do. So there's a lesson for everybody. Shot blade, and now my guide has a big chunk taken out of it. Such is life.
While Captain Sawmill fixes his mistake, let's take a moment to remind everyone that they can find out more about Red Tool House at our website, redtoolhouse.com, on Facebook at Red Tool House Farm. And we are now on Instagram at Red Tool House.
Can't believe it. right, so first log, and we've sacrificed a blade to the metal gods. That sounds like a 1980s thing, doesn't it? As we progress, we'll do more videos doing kind of detailed assessments of these things. And again, it's not that I'm trying to sell you Norwood as much as I know a lot of you guys have mills out there. You can provide some insight for me. Hopefully those of you that are looking to get mills, or maybe we can show something that you hadn't run into yet if you have a mill. But we'll start working with these first boards and start getting them on the barn and do some more milling. Well, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to check us out on our website, redtoolhouse.com. Check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/Red Tool House Farm. And we're now on Instagram. Kelly's taking over the Instagram. She's going to be doing more in the kitchen stuff, that type of homesteading stuff. So if you want to follow what she's got going on Instagram, you can do @Red Tool House. All right, take care, everybody.